Pole shift. The Earth's magnetic field is rapidly moving to Siberia, causing navigation errors. How's that for a headline? A very astute Leak Project subscriber sent me a link earlier today to an article from nature.com. And the article from nature.com is titled Earth's Magnetic Field is Acting Up and Geologists Don't Know Why. Erratic motion of North Magnetic Pole forces experts to update model that aids global navigation. I'm going to leave a link in the video description box. I'm going to share with you a quick excerpt. I'm going to show you images and projections of this rapid movement of the North Pole. And I want to let you know you can get some great specials right now. Early bird specials if you want to be prepared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Go to preparewithleakproject.com. Pick yourself up 2 weeks worth of food at least. You can pick up 2 weeks worth of food for $75. Breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks. Oh yeah, and it tastes good. I've had several people email me testimonials saying, Rex, you're not joking. This stuff is great. Preparewithleakproject.com. Be prepared, not scared. Okay, now I'm going to show you right now this article from nature.com. It's not showing up. There we go. Bada bing, bada bang. Hello. The Earth's magnetic field is acting up and geologists don't know why. Well, here are the headlines. Let's take a look deeper in this article, shall we? Erratic motion of North Magnetic Pole forces experts to update model that aids in global navigation. So, the Earth's North Magnetic Pole is moving away from Canada, and it's moving to Siberia or towards Siberia so fast that those connected with these networks, once again, have to re-update the models that were supposed to last until 2020. They have to fix the models now. The error is increasing all the time, says Arnaud Chouliat, a geomagnetist at the University of Colorado Boulder and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's National Centers for Environmental Information. And if I mispronounced the name, I apologize. Martian is my first language. Now, by early 2018, the magnetic model of the world was in so much trouble that researchers from NOAA and the British Geological Survey were doing the checkup, the yearly checkup, to see how well it was going, and they captured variations in the Earth's magnetic field. Then they realized that it was so inaccurate that it was going to exceed the acceptable limits of navigational errors. Error, warning, Will Robinson. Well, check this out. Let me show you the projections here. Right here. I'll give you a better. This is how fast the pole is moving. You can see in the 60s, it was just kind of hanging out. The 40s hanging out. Now, ever since around 2000, in the year 2000. Remember Conan O'Brien? Used to do the 2000 skits. Well, anyway, Conan! Where are you, man? In the year 2000, you see this uptick, and look at it now. I mean, it's fast. Looks like it's going to slow down a little bit. Projections around 2020. Still very fast. Now let's go to this model right here. Take a look at this. Will you just look at it? The magnetic declination from true north in 2000. That's the one I wanted to show you right here. Okay, so it's in the middle of the Arctic right now, and it's moving so fast that Siberia is just tugging it towards Siberia. It's like, hey, you're ours. Get over here. When the magnetosphere weakens, we're getting all this solar radiation. I've been studying the electric universe phenomena, connecting these petroglyphs to Z currents or Z pinches and the Birkeland current, plasma. It's fascinating. Like what the ancients were seeing. They're writing it down so quick. Oh, it's incredible. Look at that. Well, what if this entire universe is a computer system for a entity that is so far above and beyond what we can even comprehend, we call it God or gods. Just some thoughts that are going through my mind right now. But let's go back to these pole shifts, because I was getting off subject a little bit. The Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas. This is a research essay. He's put together several. And this one is, it's the whole thing. You can get the sanitized version if you go to the cia.gov/vault. There's some pages that are missing there. This has it all. And this also shows you the timelines of these pole shifts and these events that took place. And there was an event that took place approximately 11,500 years ago that was so catastrophic, so fascinating on a grand scale, on a global scale, that those that survived and were able to write about the events, it's like PTSD for the rest of their lives. So when I look at these timelines, if you go back about 35,000 years ago, that's where the magnetic pole was, the magnetic North Pole. About 35,000 years ago, according to this data, it was in Wisconsin. Then, here, I'll find it right here. So this is, let me read this directly out of the book. The overwhelming evidence, when put in order, gives a dramatic picture of what areas have been at the North Pole when they moved to the pole and how long they were there. So, North Pole eras. It's obviously now in the Arctic Ocean. 11,500 years ago, it was in the Sudan Basin. 18,500 years ago, it was in the Hudson Bay. The Caspian Sea, about 29,000 years ago, and Wisconsin, about 35,000 years ago. So I'm seeing these 5,000-year timelines lately. It seems like it's getting faster, it's advancing, cycles within cycles. So if we are getting in a cycle of energy that is getting faster, higher frequencies, there's been a lot of reports, and I can't confirm this because I don't have the scientific methods to do it yet with the equipment, but the Schumann resonance used to be at about 7.83, and a lot of people now are saying it's at 60 and going up. And whether or not that has anything to do with all the satellites and cell towers and electronics, whether or not it has to do with where we're located in the universe, in our solar system, in connection with our sun and the other stars and the weakening magnetosphere causing all this other radiation and frequencies to come in to adjust these levels and vibrations. Well, the 5G rollout I shared with you yesterday. I didn't believe it when I read the headlines about how 20,000 approximately satellites were going to be launched into low orbit shooting V-band spectrum frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies, 47 gigahertz approximately up into over 50 gigahertz. That's 50 billion hertz. That's 25 times or approximately 20 times what most microwaves emit as far as the frequencies. You multiply that, and you're in the millimeter range. Just back. You think that might have something to do with raising the frequencies? Now, maybe they're doing that trying to stop a pole shift or something. Maybe they're spreading all this stuff out in the atmosphere and the solar radiation management, the stratospheric aerosol injections. Maybe they're doing that for radiation management and to attempt to create this magnetosphere that will prevent the Earth from rapidly shifting, from having a rapid pole shift. Maybe they're attempting to use technology. Maybe it isn't for just nefarious purposes. Maybe there's multiple layers. With the 5G stuff, there's tons of stuff you can do with 5G. You probably can detect if somebody is a hybrid, like I talked about with Cliff the other day. You probably can detect what somebody is thinking to a degree, to what somebody is feeling to a degree, what kind of chemicals are in their body, what kind of chemicals their body is producing, what they're eating. You probably can with the right algos, the right software, the right algorithms, and then with that 5G system combined with the right hardware, you now have the trifecta to do multiple things. I mean, imagine the possibilities with a frequency or with a set of frequencies that can also control your moods and adjust your moods. I was watching something earlier today, just for a minute. Kristen was actually watching, and I just listened to it for a minute, where in California, there were all these people complaining about these low humming noises, and they couldn't figure out what it was. So they went and got these experts, and according to the professionals, the expert story is it was a fish. Oh yeah, it's a toad horn. It's a horned toad fish or something like that. Like, yeah, it's making so much noise out there that people are hearing these low sounds in their houses and apartments. It's fish from the ocean. Maybe it is. To me, it sounds like swamp gas from Uranus. Hello! Oh man, did you see that flying craft? That wasn't a flying craft. That wasn't a metallic flying craft that had angles on it and was high tech. No, that was just swamp gas reflecting from Venus. Or was it Uranus? Come on now. We get these stupid stories oftentimes to offset the official story. And they're laughing. They're like, look at how stupid these people are. They'll eat anything. They'll eat it up. They love it. These pole shifts are, that's another thing too. When Diamond's on tomorrow, we're going to talk about the possibility of these cataclysms having these solar events that are almost like resets every 10, 12,000 years approximately. Like the solar clock clicks at that time and resets just about everything. So maybe the 5G rollout, the chemtrails, the stratospheric aerosol injections, the solar radiation management, the HAARP systems, these different technologies, as nefarious as they can be, maybe they could also be used for the opposite. And if the sun is going to have that, what Ed Dames calls the kill shot, where it just releases this huge solar flare, and with a weakened magnetosphere combined with that, if the solar flare is facing the Earth, they could just turn this thing on and bank, you've got this force field that goes around the planet, and then the solar flare would just reflect off of it, and then they could turn it back off, and then we could live another day. Maybe they're thinking of ways to do that. I don't know. I'm gonna think optimistically about this. And we've also looked at the dark side. Well, let's look at how the Force uses both spectrums, and it can't all be bad, can it? I mean, if it's all bad, if we're in a dualistic universe, or at least a dualistic reality or matrix or simulation that is very real, because perception is reality, no matter if it's a simulation or not. Simulation is a form of reality, just another form of reality. So if the dark becomes complete, I shouldn't even say complete, because it's complete being half the spectrum, or the other side of the spectrum. So you've got that aspect, but if it becomes 51%, then it's greater than the 49. Could it then consume the 49%, consume the light, then it's 100% dark, and then it consumes itself because it wouldn't have anything else, and then there would be nothing? Or, unless there was like that 1% hiding out, and then as the 99, it got to 99%, 1% hit out, then it just continued to consume itself until it was 1%, and then there was this balance again. That would happen very fast and very rapidly. Or could it be the opposite? They're just, okay, so I'm going to this whole balance aspect thing, but when I'm thinking about all these technologies, there's got to be something they're not telling us. Can it all be bad? Or could there be things that they could do with this technology and these capabilities could make us almost superhuman or superhuman? Are they looking for those that are going to find a way to break through the veil of deceit and be the change they want to see, and let nothing stop them in the process? Walk outside, see some chemtrails out there, see these particulates falling down. You smell that? Smart dust. You're now smarter. Hello! Be excellent to each other. You will not assimilate me. Abracadabra. You be the change you want to see.